The Labour Party has agreed to pay substantial damages to 7 former employees who'd gone to court in a row over anti-Semitism in the party. They'd spoken out in a BBC Panorama programme last year, criticising the leadership's handling of anti-Semitism complaints. Labour, under the current leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has issued an unreserved apology for making false and defamatory comments about the whistleblowers. But the leader at the time of the comments, Jeremy Corbyn, says it's disappointing the party settled the claim, adding it was a political decision, not a legal one. Here's our political editor, Laura Koonsberg.
Their day in court. Accused by their former employer of lying, trying to undermine the leader. These young men and women who told their stories of anti-Semitism inside Labour came to hear the party say sorry. Inside cramped Court 37, in a hearing of just 5 minutes. A year on, Labour's claims were withdrawn.
We are pleased that our reputations have been restored, although it will take time to repair the damage caused by their unfounded attacks.
Alongside the journalist John Ware, who presented their case on BBC Panorama, they'll receive financial damages. In July last year, the 7 former staffers claimed that Labour was in denial about racism in the party.
They might not call me a dirty Jew, but they'll call me a dirty Zionist.
And had obstructed complaints.
I do not think the Labour Party is a safe space for Jewish people anymore.
The revelations exploded into Labour's long-running disputes over anti-Semitism, which Jeremy Corbyn struggled to grip.
It's awful that the Labour Party were in court over these sorts of matters, and what today does is bring to an end all of that court process. This is part of making it absolutely clear that we set our face against any suggestion whatsoever of anti-Semitism.
This is a strange episode altogether. The Labour Party apologising for its past bad behaviour, saying sorry without reservation to a group of its former staff. But it goes way beyond the technicalities of what was talked about in court this morning. It's also a signal from a party with a new name above the door. And yet, even today, Jeremy Corbyn's backers don't want to back down.
Labour have apologised today.
Mr Corbyn yesterday asked lawyers to intervene and refused to say anything in person today, responding angrily in writing, saying it was a political decision, not a legal one. The decision to settle these claims in this way is disappointing, Mr Corbyn said, and risks giving credibility to misleading and inaccurate allegations about action taken to tackle anti-Semitism in the Labour Party in recent years. One MP described that response as shameful, but his former press secretary hit back.
There were some really quite appalling actual cases of anti-Semitism within the Labour Party. How did those happen? Why did they happen? And why they weren't dealt with? This settlement does not give us that answer.
Despite today's settlement, the memories for the whistleblowers are still raw.
The culture in the Labour Party, certainly towards the end and around the time of Panorama, was just so toxic. To have the Labour Party reject us, effectively, it felt like being rejected by our own family, to be accused of acting against it, of effectively being traitors to the movement. You know, the impact on that was, on us personally, was awful.
More legal cases could follow, and a significant inquiry by the Equalities Commission is expected in the next few months. This may be the end of one chapter, but this story is not yet at a close. Laura Koonsberg, BBC News at the Royal Courts.